This episode will be completely taken out of context. Welcome to the Fact Check This podcast.
Very quick fact check daily, and this is going up on the Peddling Fiction page on YouTube as well, because this covers a topic that we talked about on Peddling Fiction last week. For those who are watchers, listeners to Fact Check This, sorry I didn't get an episode out last week. Things have gotten kind of busy. I'm working on finalizing closing on selling our old house. So I've had a lot going on. I should be able to get an episode out this week. I think I may just sit down and pre-record it instead of doing it live, just to make sure that I get it. But I think I should be able to get it to do it live on Thursday. Anyway, today for the Fact Check This daily, we're going straight to the Chicago Tribune for the article that Johnny had mentioned, that I paid the $1 for the year and unlocked. Want to know how a socialist mayor would govern New York City? Just ask Chicago. A major city, a heated mayoral election, a familiar dilemma. A moderate, business-friendly Democrat versus a Democratic socialist. New Yorkers, take it from Chicago. We've seen this movie before, and the ending isn't pretty. New Yorkers will cast their ballots Tuesday in New York's mayoral primary, where 11 candidates are vying to win the Democratic primary in America's largest city. Frontrunner and former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is in a tight race against New York State Assembly member Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani wants to freeze rents, open city-owned grocery stores, provide bus service for free, tax corporations and the 1%, and increase the minimum wage to $30, amongst other left-wing positions that differ greatly from Cuomo. Most of Mamdani's ideas are shared, at least in principle, by Mayor Brandon Johnson, and many of them are popular in blue cities. But experience has taught us here that far-left candidates do not make for effective or popular municipal executives in today's stressful economy. Johnson tried to float a $300 million tax hike and failed. He tried to pass a mansion tax that would have hiked the real estate transfer tax and failed. He's built too few affordable housing units for too much money. He's isolated himself from many of the state and federal officials he hoped would come to his financial rescue, and he's done egregious special favors for the people who got him elected, namely pushing an incredibly costly new contract with the Chicago Teachers Union. He forced out a highly competent schools chief who wouldn't cow to his desire to borrow recklessly. His city is broke, but he wants to spend more. The list goes on. Johnson's approval ratings cratered in his second year, a reflection of how quickly progressive promises collapsed under the weight of governance and Chicago's financial reality. What sounded good in theory has translated into dysfunction, driven by fiscal missteps and political inexperience. Johnson is one of the most progressive mayors in the U.S., but Mamdani, unarguably, is more radical. In the end, the New York mayoral race likely will come down to voter turnout. And unfortunately, like most places, voter participation in New York has steadily declined, dropping from 93% of registered voters in 1953 to 57% in 1993 to just over 20% of registered voters in the 2021 mayoral election. A new Marist College poll shows Cuomo leading Mamdani 55-45 in a ranked choice tally. However, the same poll finds Mamdani with a 34-point advantage over Cuomo amongst voters under 45, and young voters have turned out during early voting. The wild card is cross-endorsement. Mamdani and fellow candidate Brad Lander have done just that in a bid to take down Cuomo. Like Chicago's nonpartisan runoff system, New York uses ranked choice voting, allowing voters to list up to 5 candidates in order of preference. If no candidate gets the majority of the first choice votes, the one with the fewest is eliminated, and those ballots are redistributed to the voters' next choices. This process repeats until one candidate receives more than 50% and is declared the winner. We're intrigued by New York's ranked choice process, which offers voters a chance to express their preferences more fully and encourages candidates to pursue broader support than do traditional voting processes. Turnout for the mayoral primary in Chicago was abysmally low. Just 36% of registered voters cast a ballot in the 2023 primary. We blame that in part on the city's decision to hold these primary elections during the harshest weather we faced all year, in the heart of February. Though vote by mail exists as a remedy for folks who don't wish to brave the cold on their way to the polls. Low turnout makes it easier for radicals to capture public office. And that's a mistake we hope New Yorkers don't make. If New Yorkers are frustrated with Mayor Eric Adams, they should be careful not to trade him in for someone who might preside over a city that is less competitive and less financially secure. Trust us, we're living that reality. And then what ended up happening? Mamdani beat Cuomo. So now he's going to go up against Eric Adams. And I mean, one part of me is like, you got to feel bad for New York and the people of New York, but also, fuck them. This is the bed that they've made for themselves. Now they get to lay in it. Except that they won't lay in it. They'll flee as soon as things start to turn to shit, and they'll be coming to a city near you to ruin that as well. Maybe the immigration we need to start enforcing is a little more interstate. I don't know. What's the one that's between the states? Like, New Yorkers need to stay the fuck in New York. You wrecked it, you get to live there. Chicagoans need to stay the fuck in Chicago. You wrecked it, you get to stay there. Californians, stay the fuck where you are. Don't ruin your state and then leave to go somewhere else so you can try to ruin that. We need stricter border policies, but within our own state borders. Start expelling the immigrants coming from blue states. That's all for today. I got shit to do today. I wanted to cover that article because I did think it was interesting, and we teased it and talked about it on Peddling Fiction. So with another episode of Peddling Fiction coming out tomorrow, I figured we would cover that for anybody who was interested. You got it. Now you know what it talked about. The Zohran Mamdani, and like the more we hear from that dude, the more batshit fucking crazy he sounds. And the more we hear from Eric Adams, the more based he seems. So maybe New York will do the right thing, but New Yorkers, and in particular young people, are kind of fucking retarded, so I wouldn't bank on it. That'll do it for today. I will see you on